Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Previous session we discussed about the what is component, designing class based components and conducting component level design. Today's session we are going to learn about component level design for web apps, designing traditional components and component based development. So coming to the first concept, component level design for web apps. Web app provides different functionalities to the end user. It provides computational or data processing for end users and web app is a cohesive package of content and functionality that provides to the end user. The component level design for web apps includes elements of content based design and functional design. Computational level means component level design for web apps includes elements of content design and functional design. So first one is the content design at the component level. Here the component level focus on content objects that is presented to a web app end users. Second, so the functional design at the component level. Second one is the second element is the functional design at the component level. Modern web apps provides different processing functions. That is, first one, perform localized processing to generate content in a dynamic fashion. Next, it provides computation or data processing capability. Next, it provides database query and access, or it establishes data interfaces with external corporate systems. During architectural design, web app content and functionality are combined to create a functional architecture. The functional architecture is a representation of the functional domain of the web app and describes the functional components in the web app and how these components interact with each other. So this is the functional design at the component level. Next concept, designing traditional components. There are some construct to use it for designing traditional components. So these are the construct. First one, sequence, next condition and repetition. These are the construct to designing the traditional components. So sequence construct used for processing steps are implemented like any algorithms. So sequence is nothing but it is a processing steps that are implemented like any algorithm. Next, condition. Condition means selection of processing steps based on some logical occurrence, just like if then else statements. Next, repetition. So it allows for looping. So next, these three constructs are fundamental to the structured programming, an important component level design technique. So structured programming is a important component level design technique. So by using these three constructs, we are going to implement the structured programming. So next one, graphical design notation. So the graphical tools such as UML activity diagrams or flowcharts provides useful pictorial patterns that represents the procedural details. The activity diagrams allows you to represent sequence, condition and repetition and all elements of structured programming. Flowchart is an earlier pictorial design. It is also like activity diagrams. It is quite simple diagrams. So here we are representing graphical design notations in two types of diagrams. One is activity diagrams. It is comes under the UML diagrams, and another one is flowchart. So flowchart is a simple diagrams. So here we are representing these three constructs in pictorial representation. So first one is the sequence. So sequence is a represented as a two processing boxes connected by an arrow of control. Next, if then else condition, also called as if then else. It has a diamond. It has a diamond symbol. If then else it has if condition is true, causes then part processing to occur, and if condition is false, it causes else part processing will occur. So the diamond symbol is connected to two different boxes, rectangle boxes. So if the condition is true, t means true, so it executes the then part. If the condition is false, it executes the else part. So any one of the statement will execute in if then else. So next, repetition. So repetition means here we have two types of loop diagrams. First one is do while and repeat until. So do while means, so do while test a condition and execute a loop uh, repeatedly as long as the condition is true. Repeat until executes the loop first and then test the condition and repeats the task until the condition fails. So this is the repetition statements. Next, coming to the selection. So it is also called a selection case. So it is a construct shown in the figure. So this is the selection. So it is comes in programming representation. So it is taken as a switch cases. So selection or select case construct is actually an extension of the if then else. So in if then else there is only two ways to processing steps. One, if the condition is true, it selects one processing step. If the condition is false, it selects another processing steps. In selection case, so it provides multiple cases processing steps. So this is the selection case. Next type of notation is tabular design notation. So here tabular notations are represented by using decision tables. Decision tables provides a notation that translates actions and condition into a tabular form. The decision table is divided into four sections: the upper left hand quadrant and lower left hand quadrant and right hand quadrants. Again right hand quadrants also again divided into two parts. So totally the decision tables contains four types of sections. So see here, this is the decision table. So left upper left hand quadrant contains the list of all conditions. So conditions here, upper left hand quadrants, it contains conditions. Next, lower left hand quadrant contains the all list of all actions that are possible based on the condition. So all actions are listed here in lower left hand quadrants. In right hand quadrants again there are two sections. So right hand quadrants form a matrix that indicates condition combinations and the corresponding actions that will occur for a specific combinations. So these are represented by using true or false and tick marks. Okay. So this is the, it indicates the condition combinations and corresponding actions. Next, the following steps are applied to develop a decision tables. We have to follow some steps to design this decision table. So first one is list all actions that can be associated with a specific procedure or a component. First we have to find out the and note the all list of actions that is related to the component. Next, second one is list all conditions. So we need conditions also or decisions made during the execution of the procedure. Next, third one, specify the association of specific conditions with the specific actions and eliminating impossible conditions of combinations of conditions. So associate specific set of conditions with specific actions. So next, fourth one, define rules by indicating what actions occur for a set of conditions. Define rules by indicating what actions occur for a set of conditions. These are the four steps to represent them to apply it on the decision tables. Next, program description language. So PDL, program description language. It is also called structured English or pseudocode. It is also called structured English or pseudocode. It is a logical structure of a programming language in the form of expressive ability of a natural language, example English. So it is a logical structure of a programming language that is in the form of English or natural language. The basic PDL, design language, syntax should be include construct for component definitions, interface descriptions, data declaration, block structuring, condition constructs, repetition constructs, and input and output constructs, etc. So it is provides it includes some syntaxes of these type of constructs. Next concept, component based development. Component based software engineering is a component based software engineering, so CBSE, is a process that includes the design and construction of computer based systems using reusable software components. So CBSE is the component based software engineering, is a process that includes the design and construction of computer based systems using reusable software components. Next, coming to the domain engineering. The main intention of domain engineering is to identify, construct, catalog, and disseminate a set of software components. So the goal of the domain engineering is to share these components to reuse them during work on new and existing systems. Reuse these components during the work on new and existing systems. The domain engineering includes three major activities. First one is analysis, second one construction, and dissemination. So dissemination means spreading information. Dissemination means spreading information. These are the three major activities. First one, major activities of the domain engineering. First one is analysis, construction, and dissemination. So we should know the meaning of the dissemination, means it's spreading the information. So first one, coming to the domain analysis. It is an approach has the following these processing steps. First one is define the domain to be investigated. First investigate the domain and define the domain. Next, second step, categorize the items extracted from the domain. Means divide the items that is extracted from the domain. Next, third one, collect a representative sample of applications in the domain. Collect a representative samples of applications in the domain. Next, fourth one, analyze each application in the sample and define analysis classes. So first collect the, so in third step we should collect the sample applications in the domain, and fourth step we analyze the each application in the sample and define the analysis classes. We should define some analysis classes for each application. Next, fifth step, develop a requirements model for the classes. So we should so after analyzing and define the classes, so we should represent these classes into the model, that is requirement model. So develop a requirement model for the classes. So this is the processing steps to analyze the domain. Next, component qualification, adaptation and composition. So domain engineering provides the library of reusable components that are required for component based software engineering. So component qualification. So component qualification, it ensures that the component will properly fit into the architectural style specified for the system. So we should ensure that the component will properly fit in the architectural style specified for the system. Component qualification factors are, so here are some factors. So every component should have these qualification factors. First one is the API, application program interface, API. Next, development and integration tools. So these are the tools required by the component. Next, runtime requirements. So it includes resources usage. Runtime requirements includes resources like memory and storage, timings, speed and network protocols. These are the runtime requirements. Next, service requirements. It includes the operating system interfaces and support from the other components. These are the service requirements. Next, to security features. So it includes access controls and authentication protocols. So accessing controls and authentication protocols are comes under the security features. Next, to exception handling. So each of these factors is a relatively easy to assess when reusable components that have been developed in house are proposed. So exception handling means, so each of these factors are relatively easy to assess when reusable components that have been developed in the house are proposed. So this is a exception handling. Next, component adoption. An adoption technique called component wrapping. Adoption technique is also called as component wrapping. When software team has full access to the internal design and code for a component, by using white box wrapping is applied. So when software team has full access to the internal design code for a component, white box wrapping is applied. So what is white box wrapping means? It examines the internal processing details of the component and makes code level modifications to remove any conflicts. So white box wrapping means it examines the internal processing details of the component and makes code level modifications to remove any conflicts or problems or errors. Next, gray box wrapping. So it is applied when the component library provides a component extension language or API that enables conflicts to be removed or masked. Or masked means covered. That is a gray box wrapping. So gray box wrapping means is applied when the component library provides a component extension language or API that enables conflicts to be removed or masked. Next, to black box wrapping. So it requires the introduction of pre and post processing at the component interface to remove or mask conflicts. Pre and it requires the introduction of pre and post processing at the component interface to remove or mask conflicts. Next, coming to the component composition. The composition task assembles qualified, adapted and engineered components to establish for an application. The component composition task assembles qualified, adapted and engineered components to establish it for an application. Next, coming to the analysis and design for reuse. So for reuse the components, we should apply some approaches, that is the analysis and designing of the reuse components. So analysis and design for reuse. Binder suggests a number of key issues that form a basis for design for reuse. So standard data. Here the identify the standard global structure. Uh, Here standard data means we identify the standard global structure. Global structures, so global data structures examples. So standard global data structures means file structures or complete database. All design components can use these standard data structures. So standard interface protocol, here three levels of interface protocol should be established. First one is the intra-modular interfaces. Next, the external technical interfaces and human computer interfaces. We already know about these type of interfaces provided in the component level design. So, standard interface protocols has three levels of interfaces. First one is intra-modular interface, second one external technical interfaces, and third one human computer interfaces. Next, program templates. An architecture style is chosen and can serve as a template for the architectural design of a new software. Program templates means a architectural style is chosen and can serve as a template for the architectural design of a new software. Next, classifying and retrieving components. A reusable software component can be described in many ways, but an ideal description contains 3C model. 3C model. So first one is, so here 3C's. So first one is concept, next content and context. There are 3C models. So first one is concept. Concept of a software component is a description of what the component does. The description of what the component does, it is called as concept of the software component. Next, content. Content of a component describes how the concept is realized. The content is information that is hidden from casual users and need for those who intended to modify or test the component. Next, context. So, context places a reusable software component within its domain of applicability. The context enables a software engineer to find the appropriate component to meet application requirements. So, that is the context. Next, the reuse environment exhibits the following characteristics. So, reusable environment has some characteristics. So, first one is the component database storing software, means component database storing software, it's storing the software components and classification information necessary to retrieve them. So it's storing the software components and classification information necessary to retrieve them. Next, second one, a library management system. So the reuse environment, first one has component database. It contains the all classification information and storing the software components. So next to second one, library management system. So that provides access to the database. So library management system provides the accessing of database. Next, third one, a software component retrieval system that enables a client application to retrieve components and services from the server. Next, CBSE tools. So CBSE means component based software engineering tools that support the integration of reused components into a new design or implementation. So these are the tools to implement these reusable components into a new design or implementation. So this is the component level design. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you everyone.